things done. So you've got a query made up, you've made a couple of forms, you've made a report. The last thing to do is make a menu. Menus are extremely simple. So if you just go create, we just want to have a blank form. So it's a bit like a blank canvas. We can then go into design mode and start making things ourselves. So we can make it a bit bigger and wider. You can change background colours. Again, if you turn properties on, there's 1,001 things over there you can play around with. So if we're designing various things we want to do, so first thing we might do is put a label. A label just allows us to call something, put a heading up there, so you call it main menu. Again, once you're in there, you can go and format that and make it much bigger and make the background certain colours and your fonts different colours and all of that type of stuff, and centre it. So play around with the options. To add a button is extremely simple. So if we go back to design, the little thing with the 4X's on it, no relation to the product made in Milton Road down in Brisbane. Okay, so we drag that thing. This is where you can put various options. So if we want to do some form operations, we're going to open a form. And again, this will guide you through. So I want to open my suppliers form. Yeah, I want to see everything. Usually a picture doesn't tell 1,000 words when you're talking about this. So they often say that a picture paints 1,000 words or some rubbish. That doesn't tell me anything, that little box there. So it's much better to go over here and give it an actual text name. So we might say open suppliers form. It will look something like that. We go next. You should probably technically give it a proper name, but it makes no difference. So we just do that. Once we've got it made, we can resize it. Again, you can fiddle around with font sizes and all of that rubbish. But as long as you're consistent with the size of your button, so you shouldn't have one that's that shape. And then if we make another one, so I'll very quickly make another one. Again, I grab the 4X, open a form. Okay, we'll do the products one this time. And we might change that. Products over $3. Okay, if we look at that, it's probably not much of an idea to have our buttons completely different sizes. While they'll still work just fine, use the grids as a bit of a guide. So if you get there and move it around, if it'll move around for me, and actually make them standard sizes and those type of things. Okay, to do a report is exactly the same. So again, we're just making a button. This time we're going to report operations. Don't ever go print report, because every time you hit that button it'll fire something to the printer. So if you go to preview report, that's the better option. We've only got the one. Again, we want to open it like that. Those little things tell us nothing. So how a little magnifying glass can tell me that I'm opening a report on products over $3 has got me beat. So you might just say preview products over $3. Hopefully you'll have more exciting queries than that. And that one will sit there as well. Okay, now we can actually run the thing and it's ready to go. So if I click on there, it will go and open that report for me. Unfortunately, there's no option, because it's designed to be printed, to navigate back. And what they actually do, they'll just open extra tabs along the way. If I go to my products over $3, there it is. At the moment, I've got nothing to navigate back. So I'll show you quickly how to do that. So I just need to edit this thing. So again, it's the little set square and pencil. The easiest way to design back, so this is your form header, so a bit like a header on a letter sits at the top. You can actually make a footer. So if you just get near the bottom of it and drag down a centimetre or so, make yourself a little bit of space. And what we actually do is put a button on the bottom there, and this time it's just going to close the form. So what actually happens is they tend to open on top of each other, a bit like lasagna. So your main menu, you open up a form and it will sit on top of that, and then rather than open the main menu again, because that would just make another copy or another of the main menu. So you end up having 20 different screens sitting on top of each other. So we're just going to close the form. Close the form. We might say back to menu or something like that. Again, the name doesn't matter. Now when we actually look at the thing, it'll just want us to save the first time, but now we should be able to pop from one to the other quite seamlessly. And that's the whole idea of a menu. While I'm on here, I'll just show you one other couple of features you can add. So if I go here, when we're on a form, I'll just go back and show you what it looks like. I can actually use right down the bottom here the arrows to click through the different records. Or even better, if I open up the forms, the supplier form, I can click through the various parts there. Some people find that a bit small, so what you can actually do is if you go into design, we go down and we'll make ourselves a closed form again, so I'll make a button there. So we just want to close that form. Remember, don't open the menu again, because that will stuff you up big time. Okay, it's important to do things like, if you're using capital letters, be consistent with that. So if you used the same wording each time, so one shouldn't say back to menu and the next form says return to menu, so try and use the same words, try and use the same fonts, same sizes, just so there's consistency across your thing. Okay, now we've got that made, it'll ask us to save. So if we open the form, we can navigate anywhere we like around our whole system just by clicking. So it's starting to look, and that's what the user sees. They don't see all the stuff in the tables and the queries and all of that stuff. They just say, well, what are my products? And they hit that and they see it. So you as the developer make all this stuff for them. Okay, you can make navigation ones on these, and I'll just add one of those quickly. So if we go down here, again we're just getting into buttons. Okay, so if you go to record navigation, you can go to the first one, the last one, the previous one. So if I go to next perhaps, in this case the arrow probably justifies its place, so rather than saying next record we can do that and finish, and then I'll have a little button down the bottom. Other ones you can do, record operations, you might want to add a new one or a duplicate or delete one or print one. So if we want to add a new one, we might just go, seeing we're in suppliers, add new supplier. Whoops, where am I going? 2P. So add new supplier. And now I've got various options. So if I hit that one, it'll jump there. Obviously you can go to the previous one. If I add a new supplier, it will jump to the 6th one. So we've only got 5 at the moment. So it's starting to look a lot more professional and you're navigating around. So that's what the last part is about. Last thing you can do on your main menu, you can always go and add certain things. So you can add images, you can put different items, you can actually attach things to it. Don't know why you do that, but you can add an image quite easily. And if I just go and find a random picture of something. Okay, so let's say we put a map of Australia, so you can put that on there. Naturally you can go and resize that, have a look at it, so you can put images in there just to make it look a little bit more impressive.